Hello and welcome to the second play session, third session, but second play session of Masks, a New Generation. My name is Lowell, pronouns he, him. I'm the game facilitator for this, and this is part of the Gauntlet Gaming Calendar, which is an online club/community. You can find out more about that at gauntlet-rpg.com. And we are going to jump right into it. We are going to move right into it. Players, take a look at the safety tab to refresh yourself on that. But we're going to start. Last time, after a mixed success, or rather success that people saw very differently at the end, we had our group talking with each other about some tense issues. There were some confrontations about that. The issue of kudzu, whether he should be broken out of jail, was brought up. And of course, there was the spectacular cliffhanger thing about how kudzu was, what went on, that he was actually fighting Aftermath. But we kind of cut at the end of that. What I want to do today to start is we're going to start with home scenes, which means we're going to go do a once around. We're going to frame up everyone's kind of home life. We're going to look at what's going on, maybe fallout from some of that. So let me start with Foxling today. Now, do you live with your father?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what does that look like? Like when you come home after this superheroic incident, what do you go back to? Is it a penthouse? Is it a mansion? What do you think?
So I think it's a penthouse. And I think it's like the penthouse level of like the Rex Corp main building. And which is like a few floors. And I imagine he has to use the private elevator. And he's just like sort of arms crossed, like not feeling happy. And he opens the door, and it's like one of those, it's like a very, like we get a page splash, and it's like very traditional, almost like movie scene. Like there's a lamp on, and it's darkness everywhere else. And Rex is sitting in just like an armchair looking at him.
And you're used to your father like immediately like questioning you, but you see his head is down a little bit, and he has an earpiece in, and he's like, then find out why and do that now. And then he face goes back to the fully composed thing, doesn't say goodbye to the person on the phone, but and looks up at you.
Find out what? And he just goes, Rodan just like sort of goes in.
So how did your little skirmish go today?
Got punched in the face. But they, as you saw on the news, got taken in.
Yes, I happen to have someone on site providing some of the funding for the cosplay contest, the musical judging, and so on. They had an odd thing that they told me.
What did they tell you?
They said that it almost seemed like you lost control of your powers.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Oh, so that didn't happen.
No, I mean, after all, and like I think Rodan like makes direct eye contact with Rex. Looks at him. When did you ever make a product that didn't function fully?
There are prototypes and betas. I wouldn't want to think of you as something like that. You have a reputation to live up to. You are the superior man. And you must always keep that in mind when you're out in the field. Even if I disagree with your hijinks, when you are out there, you still represent me.
I'd hate to tarnish your sterling reputation.
Good, then we're of like minds. Do I need to call the medical team or anything for you?
You know I regenerate.
There's regenerate and then there's regenerate.
I could literally lose an arm and it just grow back.
Let's hope we don't have to put that to a test.
Are you making us dinner tonight or?
Well, you're back a little later than I expected, so I already ate, but I can call the chef up to have him whip you up something if you want.
I'll just grab something from the fridge.
Absolutely.
Did you be honest with me?
He finally kind of stands up and clearly expecting you to walk towards the kitchen, and clearly he's going to follow you there.
Yeah, I think Rodan goes towards the kitchen, like grabs an apple and does like a bite into like just like a bright red apple.
Oh yeah.
And then looks back over to him and says, "So that was your attack then? Don't say you have inside funding. I mean, it probably did, but what were you after those people for?"
My attack. You wound me. You wound me deeply.
And I think he says that, and Rodan looks over to like a fireplace where there's this big mounted portrait of Rex, like a younger Rex, some blonde woman that does not actually exist as far as Rodan is aware, and a baby that is him. And he's like, we tend to do that to each other.
Let me ask you this, Foxling, are you kind of letting that go or are you trying to pierce the mask?
Yeah,
How important is to you?
let's pierce the mask. Yeah.
Okay. Have you roll with mundane?
Oh, that'll go well. Okay. Oh wait, we have a dice roller. Should I use that or is it okay that I just
You can use it. You can use a dice roller. You can roll your own. It's up to you.
Okay, I'll roll dice roller next time, but I just use stuff that I had on hand because I wasn't thinking. That's an 8.
That is an 8. So let's look. Of course, at Pierce the Mask, you have a question you get to ask there. Just one.
Oh, that's hard. There's 2 I like here. What are you really planning?
He's planning on getting the situation back under control because something has gotten out of his hands. I think it's the like the way he stands. It's the maybe little vibration. He's so normally so absolutely steady when he like uh, moves over to put the apple core in the trash. He's a little fastidious, and you're like, oh, something's really shaking him.
Yeah, and I think Rodan sort of draws his brows and looks at him and he says, "It looks like I'm not the only one whose composure is a little flaccid tonight. What'd you do? What do I need to fix?"
You just carry on as you are. Your father's going to put everything in order. Everything.
You mean my creator? And I think he corks a brow and like defiantly sort of like holds his stature.
You know, I hate it when you call me that.
Yes, well, I hated finding out I came from a test tube. I hate what you're doing to this city when you could do so much better.
Well, and I hate you're wasting your potential, but there we are. Well, I will speak with you later. Uh,
Sunday dinner is still at 6.
at 6 on the dot.
Where's Mercy tonight?
Occupied?
Have a good night, Dad.
Oh, nice. Nice touch there. And he will leave. 404. This group meeting did not go as you wanted. So that wasn't great. So that's kind of buggy. On the other hand, you managed to grab some pieces of Daedalus's tech during that fight too. That you've got squirreled away. Tell me, when you go back home, what do we see? Where do your parents live? Where do you live?
So I don't live in a great neighborhood. They own the house, but it's a small shotgun house. So there's not a whole lot of room. And Vincent has his own room, but it's pretty tiny. It was, have your own tiny room or share a much larger room with siblings.
How many? Let's.
I can't remember how many siblings we laid out for.
I can't remember either. Cisco.
I remember hearing you were an only child. No, maybe not.
Could be. Let's make it siblings.
Okay.
And we'll make 404 the youngest of 3. And
youngest of 3.
There's a older brother that has moved out and an older sister that is still there. And I've said the parents are there, so the parents are there as well. So Vincent has a small room, which is organized, but it's organized with like boxes that he could get, cardboard boxes that he has things in. So any attempt to get things is a stacking, restacking Lego exercise.
And I imagine that it's easy for you to get back in, shrunk and then resize up.
Yep.
And you hear voices downstairs, your parents talking, and seems like a normal every day. So do you have like a lab here, or is it somewhere? Like what do you have for resources?
I do in fact have a lab here, but he's very small.
Very small.
Yeah, it looks like a Lego playset, but it's actually 404's lab.
Okay.
So that's where he does most of that kind of work. He's got some of the larger tools because he is a tech and they know he's kind of a nerd. And he had to build his initial shrink technology somewhere. But yeah.
Kenny did knock on your door.
Yeah. Yeah, come on. You can yeah, come in.
Okay. And the door opens and your sister peeks her head in and she says, I heard the floorboards creak.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly why, but Dad had to call Best Buy to check in with you tonight. And they said you weren't working tonight.
Right.
So you'd better figure out what you're going to tell them.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks for the heads up.
What's her name?
Let's make it Cynthia.
Cynthia. Okay. And she clearly goes back into her room. What do you do?
Rip off the Band-Aid and head downstairs.
Your mother is kind of in that state that you can tell that she's been like talking your dad down a little bit, and your dad's there. You can tell that he's a little irritated because he's doing that full remote shuffle, of the next channel, and that's not what I want to watch. That next channel, and he looks up and he's like, "Vincent,
Hi,
you're
Dad.
home."
I'm home.
And you said you were working tonight.
Yeah, it turns out they didn't need me though. Yep.
This is that's a little bit different story than I got from the assistant manager that I talked to.
He said they needed me tonight.
No, he said you'd never been scheduled.
Okay. I thought I was, but I realized that I wasn't.
Ah, so then and your mother's like, just, and your mom says, so where did you go?
It's, it's embarrassing. And I'm old enough that look, I was with a girl and I don't really want to go, and it's new.
And there's a shift there. Your dad's now like, oh, that's okay. And your mom's like, precisely who were you with?
Her name's Jasmine.
Jasmine. And do we know this Jasmine? Is she from around the neighborhood?
I don't know. Is Jasmine from around the neighborhood? I kind of doubt it.
I don't think so.
No. No, she's I met her through work.
So she also works at Best Buy?
No. She's actually more into sports stuff than, nerdery. But a lot of people come through.
And she goes to say something more, and your dad's like, just let it go. Just honey, just don't. And yeah, that kind of that you get that sort of like quiet that is going to be a convo between your parents later. And your dad says, we were just worried there was an attack downtown.
I heard about that.
We heard that some people from your school, kids from your school, were there, and we wanted to check on you, and then you weren't at Best Buy. So you understand why we'd be upset, right?
Yeah. Did everyone get out okay?
As far as we know, just if that happens again, there's a reason you have a cell phone. I mean, it's not a great cell phone, but it's a cell phone. Just give us a call.
All right. I mean, I kind of wish I'd known. Like, I think I named Sugar Glider's real name is Wally. I don't remember. I think Wally was there. I should probably go and check on them.
Okay.
Which heroes showed up?
Oh, that team that has the villains. It's not great. It's
I mean, did they win though?
well, they created a whole bunch of property damage from what we're seeing on the news, and Aegis took the villains into custody, but just really, I really wish Aegis would follow through and lock these lock these heroes down, especially the teen ones. That's too dangerous. That's just stupid.
I mean, I'm sure they're doing their best to live up to their role models, just like me. I'm trying to live up to what you guys
Well,
want.
no. You're
You
a good
know,
kid. I just can't imagine how disappointed their parents must be in them.
I mean, I imagine their parents are proud. They're doing,
Proud.
yeah, proud.
And your mom's like, then no parent should let their kids go out and be doing this. I know there's that young woman who's in there, and I just can't believe that they would let her go around. Public identity. It's just this, you know, if their parents are proud, those parents are not parents.
I mean, if you can make a difference, you should make a difference, right?
And your dad looks at you and he goes, you and I know how dangerous it is out there.
Yeah.
You've got to keep your head down when you see things like that. You got to get out of the way. Right?
They'll never see me.
He's kind of pushing on your mundane a little, I think, here.
Yeah. What's he trying to lower?
I think in some ways he's trying to reduce your savior, because you're kind of talking about a sense of maybe stepping in if people need you.
Sure.
And he's pushing on that. Do you want to let that happen?
I'm gonna let him do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna say they'll never see me and let him push me to be there less. But
Okay.
yep.
So savior down 1, mundane up 1.
Yep.
Let's cut to Malika. Where do you live? I think probably a little more upscale, given the training and stuff that you've been able to have as a young woman.
Yeah, I think Malika's dad is some kind of like, maybe he works in technology. Maybe he once worked for Rex Corp at one point in time, and then he moved to the, similar kind of company, and
Mhm.
quite high up. So yeah, they're wealthy, I'd say. They have a nice apartment in a nice part of town. Yeah.
So like, do you just stroll in the front door, or do you have a secret way in?
Yeah, I think there's no point. Like, there's no secret way in, so it's just like knock on the front door. Parents are there
Oh, yeah.
in the hall.
There are reporters and paparazzi outside taking a picture. Malika, can you give us a rundown on the fight today? Can we've seen you in the company of Seismic. We've seen heroes turn. How can you trust someone like that? You get those kinds of questions. Are you stopping to engage with them, or are you trying to get through?
No, I think I engage with them. Like,
Okay.
I look at whoever said that straight in the eye, and I say, listen, we're doing our best. There's 5 of us, and we're heroes, but we're also young. We're figuring ourselves out, and we're not. And that's been my thing the whole time. We're not the best yet, but we're gonna be. Even Seismic. And then
Corey Radisson with Fox News. So what do you think about the push that's just gone through to add new curfews and restrictions for superheroes, especially underage heroes like yourself? Is that something you're going to fight back against? If they put those rules in place, are you going to ignore them like a scofflaw?
You know what? Maybe we leave government policy to the people who know about that stuff. And once everything's figured out, I won't have to speculate so much, you know.
Okay. So I think you'll kind of pull back away from that. They've gotten some shots of you there, and that's going to be on the news. And you head up to where your parents are. I can't remember. Do you have siblings, or are you an only child?
Only child.
Okay. So I think that your parents are there. Let me ask you this, since we've kind of maybe alluded to it, but what is the expression on their faces when you come in after this big public battle, after clearly there's been reporters outside their house all day and the phone has been lighting up and all of that?
Yeah, I think they've complained a lot about this. This isn't like, you know, we're going into a situation that has played out many times, but yeah, I think I think they're angry. They get a bunch of calls from like, family members going like, is this safe? And also like Malika looks like physically kind of roughed up, like maybe like, you know, she's taken a hit. So as she walks in, I think she looks at them and, you know, they are upset, but she just shrugs and goes, what?
We need to have a conversation, your mother says.
We've talked about this. There's nothing that you can say that's going to
Come
change my
and
mind.
sit down.
Like she goes and she says,
And your mother sits down across the table from you and she says, today, someone from Aegis came by to talk with us. And she does this thing where she pulls out like a business card and she slides it across to you. They talk with us about some of the consequences that might occur for unregistered, unlicensed teen heroes if the new legislation goes through.
Mom, if there's new legislation, I'll get registered. I'll get licensed. You know me, like I'm not afraid to do whatever it takes.
They indicated that you might not be able to get a license.
What did they say? What?
They said that you have been associating with undesirable elements.
Mom, these are my friends. You can't believe them.
She looks at you and she goes, I believe you think they're your friends, but I think they're taking advantage of you. And I think you just can't see that.
Mom, there's two kinds of people in the world right now in my life. The people who say I can be something, and the people who just tell me not to be anything. And right now, you're clearly in the second category, and I do not have time for
I'm not saying you shouldn't be anything. What you should be is
a lawyer,
doctor or a lawyer or something, just not this.
Yeah.
How are you when you stop doing this, when you stop playing at this, what are you going to do?
If I stop doing this, if I make that choice, at least I'll be able to look myself in the mirror. I'll be able to look at my reflection. I'll know that person tried. That's all I'm saying.
Your dad finally speaks up and he says, just promise me one thing, Malika. Stay away from that Renard. I know everybody thinks that he's a big philanthropist and stuff, but I've worked for him. His dad, and you don't want to get mixed up with that.
I hear you, Dad. Like I get it. I'll be careful.
Takes you at your word. Didn't say a promise, but you say you'll be careful. And he goes back to his Kindle and continues reading. So I'm going to cut from you. Let's ask this. I'm going to come to Hope last, just here. But Cisco, where does Seismic live?
I think Seismic has no people. Seismic has no mom. Seismic has no siblings. His dad and the job that they did together was his entire world.
Right.
And because his dad was such a paragon of heroism, like he has all this money and he has a nice place that he could go to. But I think, and he often also sleeps at the
base?
cave. Yeah, at the
Okay.
base. Excuse me. Thank you. And but I think he also has a hideaway that is an abandoned building in like a squatters area near the docks in the city, sort of like if you have seen Fight Club from the 90s. Yeah, it's that kind of house. And he has to do some, like nobody lives there, right? It's completely secluded, it's fine, but I think he has to do some light trespassing to get there. And so I think in our comic book turned TV show, we get a shot of Seismic like in front of a wire fence, like looking left and right, while Dashboard Confessionals, hands down, is playing in the background because he just channels my inner early 2000s emo kid. And so he like puts his like metal jacket on the wire as the lyrics hit, like we're doing nothing at all. And he just jumps over, and we see him doing some trespassing, getting on the roof of this house. And I think he has some golf balls and a golf club, and he's just up there hitting golf balls into this other building, and he's releasing steam, and we hear, glass crashing and the occasional cat going like, and I think I'd like to set up a scene with an NPC.
Absolutely.
If that's okay.
I've got one ready unless you have your thoughts.
I have two thoughts, and well, maybe you and I have some overlap here, but
Yeah.
I was going to borrow from some NPCs that people already introduced. I'm thinking a good devil, because they both have the same background, and maybe they're both friends without anybody knowing. Or like how scandalous, like he has like this romantic thing with Omarosa, which nobody knows about because he's like the bad boy and she is like the celebrity, But Lowell, who were you thinking?
Oh, well, I was going to bring La Sombra, but I like what you're doing here. So I think that there is that moment where the camera has kind of spun around and then it twists around again, and we can see that good devil is there. And she's kind of watching, and she says, well, that can't have been easy.
I think we get another dramatic close-up shot of like just like half of his face, you know, and she's in the background, and then we just see the speech bubble. And I'm really gonna lead into like the Zuko thing here, and I think he also has like some sort of scar
Uh-huh.
that he has from like the first fight with his dad that's like visible. So that's visible on the cell, and I don't think he turns around. He just hits another ball and very dramatically sighs. And I think he's in his feelings, so he shouldn't like push her away, but he's gonna just ignore her comment, at least for now, and say like, "What are you doing here?"
Free country, squatters' rights. I can be here just as much as you can. But I saw the news. And they kept flashing shots of you. Half of them are making you out to be some kind of villain turncoat, and some half of them are making it that this is some kind of weird like plot by you to endear yourselves to the authorities.
Well, since it's a freak, like out of character, like he's gonna address, you know what she's saying,
Yeah,
but at first I want to set some mood.
sure.
And so he's gonna say, well, since it's a free country, and he's gonna grab another golf club and throw it at her and set like another ball for her so they can like talk and hit balls at the same time. Maybe
Okay.
she's a lefty, so they can be like face to
Right.
face or whatever.
Perfect.
What is her power set?
Let's ask Kay. Kay, you developed Good Devil for us. So what do you imagine the power set is for Good Devil?
Yeah, so I imagine it's actually not too much of like an overt power set. I think it's more like some like super agility and like kind of like parkour. And she's got those like swords that she carries that are in the picture that are on her back. Her appearance is just very like devilly, and so she sort of like got whomped by this system of like, wow, you look like a literal devil, like, you know, and so that sort of made her villainous because she was always sort of outcasted in that sense. Perhaps she can do maybe some lighter minor magics of some sort.
Like some sort of
But-
family curse that has stayed in
Yeah.
her line.
Exactly, you know,
That's
because
cool.
she's a tiefling.
I'm getting from this picture like a ninja drow vibe,
Yeah,
and I love it.
Yeah, she's got like she's very light colored and she's got those horns, things like that.
Awesome.
But yeah, a lot of her stuff was more like stealth, sneak, assassinate, and or steal, kind of like Selena Kyle-esque. But since she's turned coach, she's sort of been using that for different. I imagine her magics, if she has any, are sort of storm based.
Great. So since she has that like, since part of her power set is like high agility,
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe he'll hand her the club and the ball, and then he'll turn around and he'll grab a beer, and there'll be a dramatic shot of just Seismic's hand on the beer bottle, and then he'll like toss it, and there's going to be a dramatic close-up out of a kung fu movie as it like spins toward her face and she catches it, and then they both make eye contact and like smile at each other. So
He
once
says, that's real cute when you do that, but then you I can't open the beer now.
I think he's gonna like do one of these, and like something that was made of stone or gravel that was sticking out of the building, like a little rock piece is gonna break off, and it's just gonna like ching, just like open the beer for her, just like perfectly knock off the top. And once we're in position, I think and playing, I think he will be ready to talk with her and address sort of what happened the day before. And he's gonna address it by, after they've hit a few balls, just be like, I don't know how you do it. Sometimes I don't even know if it's worth it. As a ball goes crashing through a window and we hear another cat.
She goes, you had the luxury of being a hero once. I never had that until now.
Mm. Well, maybe that means I have to climb twice as hard. Ever thought about that? He's definitely throwing himself a pity party here.
And she's like, really? You think that's the twice as hard? Really?
I think he's gonna give her a look and finally get out of his feelings and smile and be like, okay, like we get a good shot. Maybe as she's saying that, like it's a large spread, and we see like a full shot of her, and clearly she's like alien looking.
Mhm.
And there's like Kay mentioned some like storm power, so there's like some static as she's leaning on the club, going like, really, you really think so? And that's when he's like, okay, maybe you have a point, but you don't have to come here and rub my face in it. You with your dramatic entrance, out of character. He's totally dramatic, and
Yeah.
maybe this is like a running joke between the two of them. It's like, okay, drama queen.
She says, I came to see how you were doing because, as I said, you made a tough choice today.
I think he's gonna avoid talking about his feelings, but still let her know how he's feeling. So as hands down is rising in the background, he sings along to the lyrics as he's grabbing the beer, and he's going like, so won't you kill me so I die happy. How's that for talking about your feelings?
If that's the way you wanna play it, you emo it up.
I think he finishes his drink and he throws it, and we hear the glass breaking, and he's like, I'm sorry. I know I keep pushing you away. I don't know how to do this talking about your feeling stuff. You know, it's not like you have time for self-reflection or, you know, therapy when you live your entire life with your dad saving the world. Pity party number 2.
She says, and she kind of reaches into her pocket and she pulls out a wrinkled business card. And she says, I think that maybe you should talk to Maresca. And she hands you this clearly held onto for a long time, clearly well-worn business card, which, you know, Mike Maresca, and, you know, Agent Argent, and it's a superpowered counselor. And then her body language changes just a tiny bit, and she says, and is how is Rodan doing?
I think at Rodon's name, right at that moment, he like hits the ball and it like just slices way off.
You see the corner of a building, poof, you know, the little bricks break.
Right. How's Rodon doing? He's a expletive writing on the speech bubble. Yeah, that's how he's doing.
And she gets quiet after that.
Okay. You saw on the news about the whole Kudzo thing?
That's why I came here.
Kudzu, right?
Yeah.
Kudzu. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, about the Kudzu thing. I feel like I owe him, so I was going to help him. And then I handed him over to the authorities. I flaked. I couldn't stand strong. I flaked, just like my old man.
What was your other option?
I could have taken him. I could have hit him. I could have not broken away from my team and gone rogue. I could.
Says you were out there in the middle. Everyone could see you. If you had fled, you would have proven to everyone that you are what they say you are.
I think he's still holding the card, and he's gonna be like, "Why do I need to go to him?" I mean, it looks to me like you would make a great therapist.
Because I haven't got time for your bullshit. And she says, does the ear thing, like clearly she's getting a call and she says, I have to go.
He'll say, out of character, this is gonna be super douchey, I know.
Okay.
But he's gonna
All right.
say, yeah, I guess if you were my therapist, then we would have that, those client boundaries. And he's gonna wink. And he's gonna be like, go take care of what you want to do. And maybe if we finally make out like we've been talking about, I'll consider going to therapy. And it's really playful. And they super haven't been talking about making out. It has been him that keeps bringing up like, yeah, maybe if we make out, we'll do this, but maybe they have that kind of playful relationship. I don't know.
She looks at you and then super agility is gone. Hope.
Yes.
Where do you live?
Anywhere I can.
So where do we see you now?
On top of a skyscraper with Humphrey.
And
feeding him cat food.
So is this a place you normally come to? Is this a spot you've set up for something? What do we see here?
This is a place I flee to when the pressure gets a little too much.
And it certainly feels like it. Like you feel that you are so close to cracking.
I am. I'm trying so hard to figure out what to do, and I'm not succeeding.
So let's look at the scene. We've got a number of conditions that you've got marked that have very different ways to clear them.
Yeah.
So what do we want to see you doing?
Oh, that's I think what her natural reaction would be to to try to make a sacrifice, but one doesn't come to mind. But she could do something foolhardy without talking to anybody.
What would that be? go and talk to a
She's-
villain about how to
Yes.
get in, or try and talk to that mysterious figure from the prison, or something else? What do you want?
Oh, I don't know about this mysterious figure from the prison.
The one who said that you don't matter when you dropped the
Oh, yes.
yeah.
I don't even know who they are.
No.
Um, yeah, I could talk to them. Another person that comes to mind from the NPCs thing is Mercy.
Okay.
Because Reynard Industries is will be part of my origin. And someone in either having to do with Reynard or having to do with Aegis may well have figured out, guessed who Hope is. From sheer intuition. Even though the technology that's going to make her hasn't been invented yet, but it's nascent. It's nascent somewhere.
So you want to track down Mercy?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that you have a certain kind of intuitive skill with this. We'll see you going to places, and I think we'll find Mercy outside of one of the Reynard facilities. She's on like the phone PDA, like multiple devices when you pop up, and she says, "Finish it all. I'll call you back." Hope.
You know about the Reynard, some of the Reynard experimental tech that's just on the books right now. So I think we made a mistake that I have to undo, and I don't know how to do it. Kutsu was fighting Aftermath. And
Yes, he was.
And Aftermath is going to do something awful. I remember that he did. And I want to stop him. And Kutsu might be the key of it, but now he's in prison.
Go on.
I want to get him out. But if I just try to do that, I'll get caught. Or it won't work.
Forward, and
Or
she
something.
says, "I think that I can help."
I think you can help too, or I wouldn't be here. You look at me differently than anybody does, and unless you have supervision or something like that, which I doubt, it's because you know something that they don't. Maybe not even that Rex Reynard knows yet.
think you make a set of assumptions.
I do.
I think it's much, much simpler than that. Now, I can provide you a device that will scramble some of the security at the Panopticon. It will help you and your teammates if you wish to go in. And I can give you a device to render kudzu untrackable.
What do you want in return?
She pauses there. I want you to tell me what Foxling becomes.
Okay.
You don't have to tell me now. But you'll have to tell me later. Agreed?
Yes.
Then we have a bargain. Come back here tomorrow and I'll have the packages ready for you.
Okay.
And yeah, you may clear. I think this is a foolish thing on your own. So I definitely think that you can clear your insecure there.
Well, if Foxling turns out bad, what will his father do?
Depends on your definition of bad.
Force of chaos or rebellion against the government, I guess. I mean, becomes an out and out villain.
Unless you're telling me that's what happens, this is all hypothetical. I don't deal in hypotheticals. I deal in cold, hard reality.
I don't want and who am I to talk, right?
Exactly. I have business to continue on with. I will speak with you later.
Yes. Okay.
And she turns and heads off. Let's take our first break here. Let's take 10 for our first break, and then we will come back and bring our heroes together for some conversations, whether it's the whole team or some pairs up. We will figure out about that. Sound good? Okay.
What if we didn't break and we just played more?
I always take a break at the
No,
hour.
I know,
So
I know,
yeah. Okay, I'm going to pause the recording and we'll be back in a bit. So we take up at some point the next day. Let us, for ease, say that it is the weekend. So there's a little more free time for the group to kind of come and gather, and I assume there's a little bit of pause of people getting the measure of the space before conversation occurs. But I think because you are the leader, there's some expectation, Jasmine, that you will break whatever waiting in silence there is.
Could I have a quick scene with 404 where I try to convince him to get on board before we even
Sure.
get with everyone else?
Yeah.
You know?
Let's say that you are the first two to arrive.
Okay. Yeah. Jason, what is 404 and Jasmine when they hang out? What is is it frozen yogurt? what do they kind of consume together?
It's Frogurt is lovely. Let's do the Frogurt.
Yeah. So I think Malika's got your favorite like flavors. So like once you come in, she like puts it down. She kind of slides it across the table towards you and goes, we're going to need you on this. There's no way we can pull it off without you.
I mean, yes, I am aware you can't do it without me, but I don't understand why we're doing it at all. Like, why are we focusing our efforts on breaking out a supervillain who we put in prison instead of worrying about who hired Daedalus or where that technology came from or what they were trying to do?
For two reasons. There's the unimportant reason and there's the important reason. The unimportant reason is because we know he was fighting Aftermath, which means he might be on our side. If that sounds like a stretch, just remember who else is on our side. This is not. And the second thing is that Seismic needs this. And we need Seismic. So we need to do this.
Why don't you roll provoke? Because
yeah, it definitely feels like that.
Yeah, I don't. You don't have influence over me right now, do you? Maybe you do. I don't remember.
I do.
You probably do. I think I gave it to you last time. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
So you get a plus one.
Even. Yeah. Okay.
And yeah.
Provoke superior. Okay. I think my superior is.
It's a 0.
It's 0. Okay, so I got +1. 7.
I think that means you have to make a call about whether or not I get experience, or you want to threaten me with a condition. Or something.
Let's see.
I would have to look.
Provoke someone. Yeah, they choose one.
They can instead choose one.
Okay, hold on. You have to choose. If I do it, I add a team to the pool, or if I don't, I mark a condition. It's up to you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Carrot or stick?
Added. If you do it, we add a team to the pool.
All right. So 4 will sigh and droop his head and go, all right, I'm on the record as saying this is dumb. And later on, you're going to tell me I was right. But I'll do it.
Okay.
I think like as soon as you say that, I go like, yeah. And we also know who was responsible, right? And I think like right after he says that, like Foxling walks in, and Jasmine looks at him. Yeah.
So let's assume that the rest of the group rolls in quick succession. What's Foxling's attitude when you come into this?
So I think he's kind of still a little pouty right now. Like his discussion with his dad didn't go really well last night. He probably stewed over that. He's both like angry with himself over his conversation with Seismic, but also still kind of angry at Seismic. And yeah, he's feeling a lot of his feelings, and he's got like a smoothie, and usually I imagine he brings like smoothies for everyone or something like that from like the chef or something, and this time he just has a smoothie for himself, and he's just like very sulkily like pouty and just like sipping the smoothie, like doing the stand against the wall instead of just actually no, you know what, he's not standing against the wall, he's sitting on the couch, but he's doing like a severe man spread, so there's like has to be some distance between him and whoever's next to him. You can't get close.
What's happening in parallel pout, Seismic?
Parallel pout.
Man, I'm gonna run with that. Just a little bit beforehand though, like we see Seismic before he goes into headquarters, like with this card in his hand, and he's like rehearsing conversations that he would have with a therapist.
Mhm.
And all of them is him explaining his situation, and in his head he's saying to himself, but no, then the therapist is going to say, okay, but what about you? And what about your responsibility? And it's like, no, but then I did this. And then the therapist is going to say, so like every mental flow chart leads to the therapist saying like, you need to take responsibility for this. And I'm like, maybe I just don't want to hear that shit right now. And like, he's going to tuck it right back into his pocket. And he's going to have a second where maybe like he does pause and like maybe he is going to think about taking responsibility for things, and then he sees Foxling in his man spread with like his passive aggressive non smoothie buying. And like you said, I think he's gonna mirror that, and there's a couch on the other side, and he too is gonna make a man spread, and he's gonna do one of these with his tongue, and he's just gonna look at him.
Perfect.
Or Dan just has smoothie, is taking a sip, and is making direct eye contact with the girl, and just like sucks on the straw while looking directly at him.
Maybe we get cells that are like both of us mirrored, and then like, and then both of us closer, and then just our eyes.
I'd like to establish something in the fiction before we bring Hope into the thing. I'd like to establish, Hope, that you, if you wanted to pick up the devices, you have picked up the devices.
Yes. Okay. Thanks.
So let's say you're the last one in and get to see this tableau.
Yeah. Bertan, says Hope, looking at the ground.
I like the idea that he says but he doesn't look away from Seismic.
How'd it go with your dad?
My creator is as he always is.
Hope winces at your use of the word creator. So not good then.
He was involved with whatever happened yesterday. I don't know to what degree, but he was involved.
You're better than he is. You know.
He could be better if he just shifted his point of view.
He's not ever going to do that in the foreseeable future.
Well, I'm going to fix that. And then I think at that point, he like turns and looks at Hope. And he actually does look a little like caught between like fearful and slightly angry.
Let me ask this, Hope, were you leaning towards comfort and support with that move? Or is it just...
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Um,
So let's have you roll to see what happens, and then we'll see whether Foxling responds.
sure. Nine.
So that's a 9. What do you think, Foxling? Are you shutting that down or are you opening up? Jason, you have your hand up. Did you want to say something?
Did you remember that Hope has a -2?
Oh, that's a 7.
Still a 7. Good.
Yeah.
Hmm. You know what? I think he's gonna open up a little.
Okay.
And I think he gets up off the couch and he walks over to Hope. And he says, "Well, then I'm just gonna have to fix that."
Foxling, do you want to mark potential, clear condition, or shift labels?
I'm gonna mark a potential.
Okay.
You're going to have a big effect. And at this point, I'm going to remember the future for Foxley.
All right. So mark a condition.
Oof.
Yeah.
I think 4 has to chime in and go. Just, we are talking about the guy who had his hired thug beat the hell out of me, right?
Tell my dad.
Uh-huh.
I like that denial. So you're rolling with a +0, right?
Rolling with a +0. Miss. Complete miss.
That is complete miss. The good news is you get to mark potential. Let's see. And you're asking about Foxling's role, right?
Yeah.
Foxling, there are 5 roles left. Are there any of those that you don't want?
I'd rather not be the monstrous.
Okay.
And I mean, leader's okay, but I find it less interesting than the other 3, unless you have a really compelling idea for the leader.
I think that there is that flash hope that you get. And I think it is Foxling standing side by side with his father, and like hand in hand, side by side, together, joined in this new future.
Yep.
And I'll say Foxling or someone who looks identical to Foxling. Does that seem fair?
Yeah.
So what do you say?
Which one is
and
it?
then I put that as trader, I think, which I think Brandon
Yeah.
got that. What do you say? And then I want to pull back out to the larger group.
I say two ways you and your father can get on the same page. And it's not going to be because he changed his mind.
And I think where Dan looks confused for a moment and then just laughs and is like, that's ridiculous. That's
Listen,
really silly.
listen, we're 10. I escaped the future so as not to have to fight you.
Yeah, I think you completely flummoxed him when you say that. I almost wonder if I should take a powerful blow.
Yeah, I would say that, or I think there's a label shifting here that is increasing either you're freak or you're dangerous.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Which feels stronger for you, Kay?
I think it's a powerful blow.
Okay.
Because you're essentially telling him like everything that he's planning on working for, like all of his intention for autonomy is nothing. Like it's just gonna be nothing.
Then roll +0.
8.
8. Choose one. You do have influence over Hope.
Yeah. I think he's gonna lash out. And he's just like, just because you're from some future doesn't mean you're from my future. Doesn't mean you know who I am as you stand there sulkily to the side, acting as if you know me. And I'm gonna give you the condition insecure. As he like sort of takes several steps back, because he'd sort of almost gotten close and like went as if he was going to put like an arm around you and like back support. But then you say this and he just takes several steps back and he looks hurt and he looks angry and he's dropped his smoothie. Thankfully it's in like a metal container so it doesn't spill everywhere. But or actually, you know what? It's in a plastic container and it was a red smoothie and it's almost as if blood is spilt on the ground.
Everywhere. White tile.
White
red.
tile splashed with this visceral red. Almost as if the wound you've given him is both physical and emotional.
Hope, before I give you a chance to react, I want to check in with the other characters who are in the scene, who will see you react like this has clearly hit you hard. And I want to check in because there is the opportunity to comfort and support if someone thinks that fits in the fiction, to keep you from just crumbling here as you mark your last condition. Jason, I see you talking.
Yeah, sorry, I had it muted. So I will.
I'll just add to the fiction just slightly that Hope's immediate reaction is to take a step back, and then she goes switching to low power mode. Go ahead.
So I think Forfo is like, that's enough. Look, knowing things is hard, and you know that your creator is a giant douchebag. Pietro knows that his father is screwing up the world, and Hope knows what things are coming. And if we want to get around it, it helps for us to hear what Hope has to say. Hope has offered us guidance. Hope has offered us a sense of who we can be. And talking crap is not going to help. Give Hope a chance. Let Hope help us. Okay? If you keep on pushing people away all the time, you're just going to end up like a lonely old jerk who lives in a tower.
Apparently, no matter what I do, I end up with the lonely old jerk at the tower, continuing jerkiness.
That's a choice. Are you telling me you don't
You
think
actually,
choice?
Let's resolve the move
Yeah.
before we move forward in the fiction. So your mundane is 1, and you have influence over hope. So you're rolling with a +2.
All right, let's see how that goes. Whoops, I put the wrong. I put a fudge die in. That'll be fun. All right. 9.
Now there is 2 team in the team pool.
I know.
So if someone wants to help you support.
I think I'm just going to use it selfishly.
Okay.
I'm gonna be like, look, I wasn't on board for getting kudzu, but if we're a team, and that means we're supporting each other and everything we bring to the table. Make good choices. Let Hope help us.
So let's get the mechanical.
I think even just him saying like comparing everyone else on the team to make Hope feel better, even that's a little bit selfish, right? Because that's kind of like an icky comparison too, right?
So mechanically, let's resolve the mechanical of the comfort and support, and then we'll check in with Hope and Foxling for their reactions to that. And then I want to come to Seismic and Jasmine. What do you want to clear a condition, Hope?
oh yeah.
What do you want to clear? What's the most important thing to you right now that these words serve to clear for you?
Help us.
Okay.
Because that's the one, that's the has to be the last one to go. Her name is specifically chosen.
So, and then mechanically, do you have any conditions marked? 404?
I don't. So all it means is we put a team into the pool. So the team I spent goes right back into the pool.
Okay. There's that mechanical loop. Let's get Hope's reaction. Let's get Foxling's reaction, and then let's move to the other 2. Hope, what do we see?
We're done. You're going to be great. And I'm not sure that, I think you're going to be on the right side. Even if it seems like they can't possibly be true.
Foxling?
I think like he was very viscerally shaken by what happened, and I think he's still actually shaking a little. But I think he just takes several steps forward and hugs Hope.
Seismic, what's your reaction to these sort of more emotional open displays here and this back and forth?
I think Seismic is not always, or Pietro is not always great with words, but he does want to join into this group moment. So he's going to stand up and close the physical distance, which for him is a pretty big deal. And if it seems socially appropriate to sort of go in for a group hug, then he'll do that. Quick point of order. I have this move, blowing off steam. When you commit a misdemeanor or small victimless crime, I can clear a condition. So can we say that the trespassing from the last scene?
Absolutely, yeah.
counts?
I should have caught that when we did that.
You're
scene,
good.
yeah.
You're good. No, it's up to me.
So you kind of step in like maybe a little awkwardly, moving to that group hug.
But it's sincere. It's awkward,
yeah.
but sincere. Yeah.
Yeah. 404, do you move in for a little more closeness, or are you kind of still keeping your distance?
That is a good question. I think I entirely take my cue from whatever Jasmine does.
Jasmine, what do you do?
Yeah, I think yes, let's do it. Let's go in for the group hug, and I think Jasmine is going to look Hope in the eye and go like, you saved a bunch of people last time. You're amazing, and I don't know if that happened in that future or not, but you're awesome, and I'm so glad you're here with us. And I am triggering a team move.
Okay.
When you tell someone they're awesome, add a team to the pool.
Okay. So we have 3 team.
If they tell you how you're awesome in return, add another team to the pool.
Hope, what's your response?
Jasmine, you're always going to be fighting the good fight. I don't. I think that it's amazing that what you're doing. I don't know how you do it, but when the government tries to take over, you'll know what to do. That's all. I think I've said enough about the future right now.
So we've got 4 team in the team pool. Now we've got a couple ways we can play this right now. Let's talk about how we want to frame up this. One way is that we sort of continue on with like planning and talking and maybe people doing things to get set up. The other way is we hard cut to everybody like on site, Blades in the Dark style, for the break-in.
Like the hard cut.
Okay. Then I think there's that. I have only one thing to ask then, and that is that in the sort of the chaos of this, Hope, maybe you haven't had a chance to fully explain what those devices are, where they came from, just to make sure that fiction is established.
Sure.
Then I want to come in, and I think when we come in, the shot is on 404, because I think 404, this is your bread and butter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's have you with your you have your scientific insight here. What does that look like?
Well, I think right now this is 404 getting the information about where the heck kudzu is.
Yeah.
Like 404 is just kind of hopped in and is tapping into the network and through the hard line. Hacking
the world. All right. Then let's have you assess the situation, right?
Yep, that would be me. I used to be better at Superior. All right.
I once was a smart man.
See how that goes. All right. Well, I rolled a 9, but because it's my scientific insight, I get to ask a follow-up question in addition to the other one.
Okay. So what is it you most want to know here?
Well,
let's assume you get the basics, like you get the location, you know where he's at, that all of the basic mechanical stuff. But what's the bigger question that you want to know?
Well, I think I've got two things.
Sure.
One is I'm making sure to check the defenses, like what is most dangerous would be the question that is there. Biggest threat.
In some ways, it's much easier to break in. There aren't a lot of not as much outward facing. It's when you get inside that they have a number of non-lethal devices, gases, beams, things like that, that are automated throughout the system, and that's probably the biggest danger here. The guards aside, and they may have some supers on site, but that's probably the biggest thing.
All right. Did Hope ever share with us the mysterious so-and-so that said that Hope was not important?
That's a good question. Have you told them about that, Hope?
Yes.
All right.
I have. I don't think I can. I don't see how that screws up the future.
Yeah. Well, then 100. I'm finding out who that person is, because that first that offends 404 on a personal level.
Yeah.
But yeah.
His name is Copernicus Dark. And he is a special liaison consultant to the Panopticon provided by Reynard Industries.
Of course.
And you'll see it says superpowers, and then it's classified is listed there.
If I only rolled a little higher.
I was going to pitch you a way that I could help, and we can use a team pool if you want.
Yeah, that's, well, and Hope can help you because.
So Seismic, you were going to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say maybe 404 and I are communicating as he's doing his thing on his computer. Maybe I am on the periphery of the Panopticon, like feeling the earth and maybe adding to his casing the joint that way.
So spend team for the team pools, or team pool goes to 3. So that goes to a 10 plus. You've got one more question, Jason.
Hooray. I think 404 was like classified, not on my watch. It's just busted right through that.
Portals, teleportals. He has the same power suite as Hope does.
All right.
Yeah.
So 404 is going to pass on like the defensive stuff, and so that Joker, Copernicus Dark, I suspect might be a manufactured individual, but gonna want to watch out for those portals, friends.
It can't be. They're not. The technology's not mature.
Your existence here proves that all things are possible in heaven and earth. Hope.
That's true. But I was able to get back here only through I got lucky.
How about we just watch our heads then?
Well, it means though that trying to portal Kutsu out may run into problems.
If they can track?
They can't do. And Hope takes out a package. And puts it down in front of everybody, or holds it out in front and holds it in her hand. This is
Does Rodan recognize that this is Reynard technology?
Oh, I think that I'm going to need to assess the situation, since that is there's been some attempt to conceal that.
I'm kind of presuming 404 is actually not there, since 404 is shrunken physically off somewhere else.
Yeah,
Like you're
well, we're
you're in
talking,
you're in a junction box
Yeah.
with a a microcomputer set up and
yeah,
multiple screens.
we have, well, no, he's tiny. He's actually hacking the hard line.
Right.
And yeah, so we're communicating.
So let's do
over a link.
Foxling's move, resolve that.
It's an 8.
An 8. Yeah, I think your question is, do I recognize this? Yes, you recognize it. It has been concealed, but it is definitely tech from your father's company.
Hope, where did you get this?
I got it from Mercy.
Why are you talking to Mercy?
Because I knew that she could give us what we needed to get in here without being front page news.
And what did you give her?
I haven't given her anything yet, but I promised her something.
What did you promise her?
I promised to tell her what I remembered about you.
Father will be delighted, and I think he like takes whatever piece that he would need and sort of goes to like just huff.
So
Yes.
I think 404 over there comes is like, all right, leaving aside from the fact that you can't trust Mercy, you're saying that we've got tech from Reynard to infiltrate a place that's being supported by Reynard, right?
Yes,
That's what we're saying now.
which is why I know it's going to work. They know this facility inside, and they have a consultant to here. They know this facility inside and out. But most importantly, these will keep us from showing up on their scanners.
You've
being
got two
identifiable.
devices. One is to scramble when you're going in to help provide cover for that. And the other one is to put on kudzu to get him off of their intrinsic field scanners.
Without this, we'd be front page news, and they'd track Kutsu down and recapture him.
All right. So we're going to go ninja.
We have.
I like to throw in an ace in the hole.
Sure.
Maybe we can have a quick flashback where I am discussing with 404 that Seismic can like create a fake earthquake, and 404 hacks into like the local, like whoever would report a thing like that, and make it so that like, the recent moon chunks that have fallen have now created seismic activity, and so if we need chaos, I'm going to pitch to 404 that that's the play we make.
I think 404's opinion is that makes it obviously you that did it.
Which is why you would hack it, but yeah, I can see why. Yeah.
And he would much rather use this nifty suit of armor he replicated from Daedalus and have it attack as a robot, so it looks like Daedalus has a minion attacking, and then we use that as a distraction.
Okay, but you walk away with the feeling that if there was an earthquake, then
All right. Here's the way I want to do this. I want to kind of do this as a montage piece. What I'm going to do is we're going to kind of walk through, and I'm going to kind of set up an obstacle, and I will direct it to a player. But if another player who hasn't already taken out an obstacle thinks that they want to do it, they can do that. This isn't a rolled thing. We're just doing some narration to do the Mission Impossible thing to go in. So there's a challenge of actually like physically getting into the building. Like we see the camera kind of go over the panopticon. We see that device activated. So you kind of like for security cameras and recording devices, you're fuzzing out or not showing up. But Seismic, is this you for actually getting into the building?
I think we mole it up, baby.
Okay, so tell us what that looks like. What is the scene there?
I think maybe I have somebody else's help, and we have some sort of tech that 404 has come up with, where we get to scan their scanners because they're probably expecting something like this, but we found a way around it. And so I'm playing a proverbial game of Snake, where I am, making this underground tunnel while at the same time like avoiding their scanners.
Yeah. Can I help you, Seismic?
Absolutely.
There's enough ferrous material in the area here that you can interfere with their scanners by essentially creating a subduction zone.
Oh.
If you move the iron and steel, out of the way in a pattern like this, then that's going to automatically play hell with any attempts to find out what's really going on.
I love it. The only thing is that like ferrokinesis is its own power.
I understand this.
Yeah.
But it's you're going to get your. This is just something you haven't figured out yet.
Okay.
Which is a talent. This is a move I have.
Oh, very cool.
So we'll see you move through guidance from Hope. We'll see you tunneling through. 404 is got like the seismic detectors that they have in the prison, is hacking those so that they don't pick up any of the extra movement, right? We see that rapid hack there, and then we see you coming up because you have some floor plans. You're in an unoccupied cell that's not activated, and you'll come up from there. So the next sort of challenge, next hurdle to overcome is that there are guards, there are people there are defenses. 404, you described creating a distraction to draw that attention off. So tell me what that looks like.
So I think 404 has that little joystick that he had out before that he had hooked up to Daedalus's armor. And then he has something that's made to look like a sleeker, newer version of Daedalus's armor, and it says Kalos on it.
A man of bronze.
It appears and goes, "You have offended me and my father for the last time, pathetic mortals. Feel the fury of Kalos!" And then just starts launching energy attack.
Absolutely. Carefully calculated that you're not hitting anybody, but it's flying up, and they're woo, and people are coming out, and they've got their Reynard supply energy beam devices, and they're
404 has a little microphone. It's like, "Tremble, mortals."
The next obstacle, as you are in there, is getting past, dealing with these non-lethal gas or beams that certainly 404 is taking care of a number of those systems, but there are still a few of them in there. So let me ask, does it seem like something for Jasmine?
Yeah. I think we're just prepped for this. So Jasmine has a mask that she can wear that's like specifically for this gas, so she can like dive through it. She gets hit a little bit, but that's fine. Once she's on the other side, she knows how to turn it off. That kind of thing.
Yeah, the rolling through the doors, using your acrobatics to get past beams, locking things down. Everything is getting locked down as the four of you are moving through there. I think they're getting to that sort of area, that passage where Kudzu is in, and I think that you will see that there is one of the prison's super beings who is on site there, essentially in that wing, who is kind of watching patrol, and is hearing the alert, but he's sort of holding this area. His name is Willforce, and he makes imaginary invisible weapons and gear and things like that. Foxling, does this seem like something you can deal with?
Yeah. And I think maybe as this gentleman is like sort of going to armor himself or something like that and do these things from sort of a shadowed position, Foxling with his own control of cosmic energies is just zapping him out, zapping him out, zapping him out, like just completely like disassembling it completely. So anything this guy is trying to make, be it armor himself, blockades, weapons, anything, is just disappearing as soon as it appears.
So right now, you and he are tangling. We see the two of you kind of going around. He makes something, you dissipate it. What is your costume look like here that you're in disguise?
I think that he's like got a full-on like ninja, very sleek, sort of almost Deathstroke looking
Okay.
sort of costume. That yeah, he's sort of like hastily like it's sort of almost fun and jest. It's like labeled like minion number 1.
Okay. And yeah, and so you are tangling, going around. We see that battle. While that figure's being attention is being held by Foxling, we see Hope, Seismic, and Jasmine Knight in disguise moving up over to where Kudzu, where his cell is. Now Hope, that you don't want to, can't just teleport in or teleport him out. So what's another way you're going to use your powers to get him out, disable the cell? What do we see you doing there?
The engine, the device that makes the force wall, I can see the energy lines enough to kind of locate it, switching to ultraviolet, and I'm going to create this thing is designed to stop portals of useful size. I'm going to make a micro portal that right next to the device that loops around to itself. So there is a little spatial feedback loop going on where the matter is coming in, and it's basically air is going in and coming out the other side, and repeating until it gets up to the feedback gets up to tremendous force, and the device just blows apart, and a good chunk of the wall too.
And we'll see Kudzu, prison uniform, kind of standing up, power suppressor bracelets on, kind of stands up, doesn't recognize any of you. Seismic, do you identify yourself?
I do. I have a Josie and the Pussycats mask on. I am Josie.
Okay.
And I lift up my mask. And part of the reason is because, again, he feels this obligation, and he needs to let him know that it's him, so that he helps us break him out in case he decides to do something dumb. And then he wants to clear that debt, right? It's like, hey, I'm here trying to break you out.
He looks shocked, like looked at the others, like, okay, what is going on? But he knows enough to stand up. 404. You're hacked in, all that stuff. There is something incoming from above.
Can I tell what?
Yeah, it looks like there is a super being falling out of the sky at high speed down towards the section of the prison where they're at.
Okay. I'm going to catch it with Kalos.
Okay.
Real quick, when I just want to back up just a little bit, when Kudzu goes like, "What are you doing here?" And I lifted up my mask. I go, "I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to save you." Okay, carry on.
Then what do you think? Does this feel like unleash your powers, or does it feel like
I don't know.
assess the situation? Assess the situation would allow you to like slow it down and get a sense of who this is.
Sure. My first impulse was to do what is a defend action, because
Oh yeah,
Kalos is attempting to stop the thing from plummeting.
that feels good too.
Yeah.
Can I use stick to the mission to maybe know who it is?
Well, let's resolve his move
Mhm.
first, because Jason hasn't gone for a bit, so I wanted to give him something here. Okay.
Sure. Does this hit one of my previous assess the situations?
I don't think it does.
Okay.
But I do think you're using computers, and you're hacking through the system and the security and all that to give yourself the +1 from that. Does that seem fair?
Sure. So it's a total of +2 then?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So Kalos, presuming that this thing doesn't just show up and punch it and destroy my robot. But I did roll a 10 on the defend.
Perfect.
So yeah.
What do you want to do? Add team, take influence over one of the other PCs, or clear a condition?
Well, I don't have any conditions. I'm not sure who exactly I am protecting yet.
Okay.
So,
Then I think that they're down there. You can tell on your, like, we got the split screen. You can see that they've got Kudzu out. And then you've got this visual of this thing, and you see this figure hit Talos. And Talos things like left and stops it so that you have a moment to see that it's aftermath.
right. I think I'm going to take influence if I do not have it already over seismic. Because I didn't want to be here in the first place.
Yep.
Oh, wait, I do already have it over seismic. Let's put Jasmine on there.
Okay.
So I think 404 says, "Hey, Seismic, your dad's here." "Hey, Jasmine, told you so."
All right. So the situation has gotten complicated. Let's turn to our leader. Oh, why don't I I'll put a team in the team pool. How about that? So that'll take us to 4 team. Do you have influence over everybody, Jasmine?
Do I have influence over it?
Everybody?
No.
No. Okay. Same purpose in the fight. I'm not sure that we do at this moment.
Get Kudzu out sounds like the purpose that we all
That
have.
feels like
Get
the purpose. Does everybody agree with
Kudzu
that?
out. Yeah.
Okay, good. Then we'll take that up to 5. A little bit off balance for 4, but I think that the group hug indicates that at least for this mission, there's some trusting the leader. 404, are you okay with that? or do you think you mistrust?
No, I trust Jasmine. I trust Jasmine in general, and then also this is what I said was going to happen, so I get to feel smart.
So Jasmine, you get that heads up, and 404 has stopped Aftermath's immediate arrival and tearing open this section of the prison. What do you want? What are you doing?
Where are we? Like, where are we fictionally? We have just got.
You've
Kudzu
just got
and
him
we-
out of the cell. You're on this wing. Foxling's still engaged with Willforce, holding him locked up in that kind of non-lethal back and forth.
Okay.
You're there. Kudzu's there. Hope's there. Seismic is there.
I turn to Hope and I go, Hope, can we just get out of here?
And try.
So Hope, do you want to try and unleash your powers?
Yes, I'm going to give Kudzu his 8-track device.
Okay.
Put that on. It'll keep the scanners from spotting you as long as the battery holds up.
Let's have you roll freak.
My freak is a flat roll. So. Yes. Does this count as running from something difficult?
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Because I really don't want to tangle with Aftermath. 11.
I think there is that bit where you start to open it and immediately you feel that counter pressure, essentially. And all of you around can see like the visible effect that you usually get for Hope's portals, like that extends out and the air is wavering. You will get that out, and you just push Kudzu through.
Yes.
Okay. Foxling, what are you doing? The situation has changed.
Okay, how far am I from where this situation is going down, where Hope is pushing through the portal?
I think that, like, imagine we probably got like the sort of the main floor of this prison area, the section that you're in, and then there's probably some cells on the ground floor, and they're all like up on a balcony with the cells on the second floor, and they're up there, so not that far away.
Yeah, so I think Foxling is gonna make to try and get to that place. Like, it's been fun playing with you. I'm gonna make a giant, cosmic sort of wave to like just knock your ass over and just try and get out.
I think that is you unleashing your powers to keep this guy from following and to get over there with your powers.
Yeah, for sure. Unleash my powers, which is my freak. Where's my freak at? +1. Okay. Nine.
A 9. Mark a condition, or tell me how it's unstable or temporary. Feels like a
Can
mark
I-
a condition
can
is
I-
the logic. Oh, yes.
Can
Oh,
I
yeah.
help?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you
But,
help?
I think it's one of those moments where it looks like Foxling isn't going to make it, and the portal's closing, and then Jasmine kind of like jumps through, like grabs him, and kind of pulls him just as that kind of bullet, one of Willforce's bullets coming, and we disappear into the portal.
Is that okay with you, Foxling? Yeah.
Great.
Grab, spin from the team pool, yank through. Seismic.
Okay. Give me a quick summary of what just happened.
So what I imagine is this. Hope has opened a portal, but it's clearly, that effect is clearly being pushed back on it, like it's closing faster. Jasmine has kind of stepped. Foxling has pulled himself away from this battle with Willforce to leap up there. and Jasmine has grabbed and thrown Foxling through. Kudzu is through. So right now it's just you and Hope who are in this room on this side. Will Force is still there. Your father is coming.
Okay. Okay, does Hope look like she need help, or does she look like she's gonna make it through the portal?
Tell me, Hope, what is Seismic Sea?
Seismic Sea's hope is in clamped down physical posture, focusing. She's almost gone to like a statue. And is pushing back against this thing. The portal is wavering. Something's trying to crush the portal, and she does something, and it pushes back out again. And so she's arm wrestling the machine or whatever it is that is trying to shut down the portal.
Copernicus.
Yeah.
How far is she from the portal?
I'm right here. She's standing right in front of the portal.
Yeah.
Right in front of it. Okay. I think the play is going to be that Seismic is going to alter his environment, and he is going to create a bunch of walls to protect him on his way to the portal.
Okay.
And he's going to, if this works, very dramatically going to leap, grab Hope, go into the portal at the same time, and both of them will go and disappear.
Perfect. Let's have you unleash your powers.
Indeed. Okay. 2d6s plus 2. And then do I get a bonus if I have influence? Over Hope?
Yeah, I think you do. Yeah, actions targeting them.
Okay, great. And I do. Great. This is plus 3.
Almost no chance you could fail.
All right. 11.
Foxling is through. Jasmine is through. Hope is locked in, and then we see you fly up, even as like the walls form around you as a barrier. And we see you grab up Hope, and like the second that Hope is whoop through there, the portal just kind of crashes. And I think outside we see Talos flying over the lake as Aftermath throws him into the distance. And then there's from where you're at 404, you see this plume as Aftermath slams into that section of the prison. And what do we see you do, 404?
404 is going to foolishly push his luck.
Please.
Because the whole team is gone.
Yeah.
And only one of them knows this, but I feel super guilty about Aftermath being the way he is.
Oh, yes, you do.
He's in a facility that has a whole lot of sensors. And if I can figure out how to undo what was done using those sensors, I could make such a difference for Seismic and for Foxling.
Okay. Just feel like pierce the mask or assess the situation?
That is a good question. I'm going to say assess the situation, but let me look.
Yeah, let's do that, and we can modify the questions a little bit here because you are asking it like not like the broader point of him. So let's have you roll superior.
Yeah. But I think I get my +1 on that again.
You do. Unfortunately, as you said, there's no team around to assist you.
I am aware.
Yes, maybe.
Unless the sensors pick up something that maybe 404 and I can talk through, because I do know my dad.
Yeah, but also I have a possibility too.
Okay.
All right, well, let's see how the roll goes. I got a 10.
Okay. So what is your first question? Like, how do you want to
All
frame
right.
that up? And we can modify this a little.
Okay. Well, I mean, my foremost question, my first question really has to be some variation of how can I free Aftermath from this mind control? But I guess the variation on that is, yeah, what here can I use to? But
I think what you will realize, and this may not fully answer your question as you've stated it, but I think it is information that is important and you can use. I think that when you're reading the stuff, you've gotten, like, you know what the energies are, and you have something to kind of like to tell that somebody has been put under this control here. The energies are different here on Aftermath. And you realize that he has both broken free of Reynard's control, but he is still absolutely messed up and villainous.
oh no. Okay. If we put him through the teleporter again, would it reset him again so we could fix him?
That's not teleport to time travel. That's what the
Sure.
But it's the device.
it is
yeah, the device,
your
yeah.
teleporter device. The device that you created. How about yes, but you know that you are going to have to make some serious changes to that and dismantle what you created. It's probably going to mean you need to get some stuff from Reynard, stealing from there to be able to build the device. But you have an idea, like you have a spark of an idea of what you can do.
Okay. I think that my last question is end this quickly because I want to get GTFO.
Yeah, I think you can essentially use your shrinking powers to get out, and you can restore like the all the systems for the Panopticon, so he's not going to be able to say follow any of you in any way. Does that seem fair?
That sounds great.
Can I, Jason, may I?
Sure.
May I get you out of here in a suitably
Yeah.
way? Yes. So you're doing the typical computer nerd thing, which is staying too long at the console. Just one more compile kind of thing. And you're miniaturized in a small space, and a hand appears, grabs you bodily, and yanks you out through a miniature portal.
And I think I'd like to cut to, even though it maybe doesn't make the best amount of sense, but I think I'd like to cut to the five of you and Kudzu at your base.
Yeah, I think Foxling. So Kudzu still has those like cuffs or whatever on that's like blocking their power.
Yeah.
And I think Foxling's gonna go over with his cosmic energies and just sort of touch them, and they just like fall off.
He'll
And
crash.
he's gonna sort of be looking at him semi-assessingly, and then sort of mutter and be like, "Flowers don't belong in the dark."
He looks at all of you, and he's like, "Is that a frozen Coke machine over there?"
Yeah, that is a frozen Coke machine.
Like his face gets taut, like he doesn't know what to say. He's like wrestling with his emotions here, and he just kind of goes over to that. But you have him out. You evaded Aftermath. You broke into the Panopticon, and you weren't seen or recorded.
Foxling feels mixed about this. um, do you need a moment, or can we get down to business?
Says you guys go ahead.
Why was Aftermath after you?
Or to put it another way, we know something about what Aftermath is going to do, and we need your help in stopping it.
And looks at Seismic, and he says, there's something really wrong with him. Really, really wrong with him. He looks at you, he hurt some people. And kind of doesn't go on.
This is like the worst thing for Pietro. I think this is an emotional blow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
I'd
have you
love to
roll that.
Yeah, take a powerful blow. Plus conditions, which is 0. Okay.
Fail the roll. Fail the roll.
roll up, roll up.
The low is good for a powerful blow.
Mhm.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
know.
low is good. Yeah, 8.
An 8. So what is it you want?
Powerful blow. You lash out, verbally provoke a team to foolhardy action. You give ground. Your opposition gets an opportunity. You struggle past the pain. Mark 2 conditions. I think that Pietro is going to take responsibility for that, even though that's a bit codependent, which
Mhm.
is fine. Pietro is not the most emotionally healthy person. And it's going to hit him, and he's going to take a step toward Kudzu and say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what has happened. I'm sorry that my father is hurting a person or people, and I'm sorry that we did what you did to your home. And this is the part where he's gonna have Pietro wherever he wants. Pietro is gonna say this and mean it. He's gonna say, I will do whatever you want me to make this right.
He already has influence over you, so that's going to shift your labels.
Okay.
So which are you taking? Which of the options are you taking?
He says, gets up close, and he says, you and your father are a fucking menace.
That's not true.
And Leviathan is dead because of him.
Wait, what?
And then he just pushes you away from him, Seismic. Please move your danger or your freak up one.
Sure. I'll pitch you that maybe instead he just marks two conditions.
Sure, if you want.
Does that make more sense?
I'm good with that too.
I think that makes more sense. Yeah. We're gonna go with hopeless and guilty.
And Kudzu just kind of drops, into one of these chairs and just kind of cradles his head.
I think that Foxling is gonna go over, and as far as he's aware, he still thinks Aftermath is in control, being controlled by his dad. So he thinks his dad is now responsible for the murder of this teenager. And he just sort of gets in front of him and sort of like gets almost like on his knees and is like, puts like a hand on his knees, sort of like, I am so sorry, Kudzu. What do you need?
I need you to take your hand off my leg before I tear it off.
Yeah, and he'll pull his hand back.
Now, we haven't heard from Jasmine for a bit in this. Let's check in with Jasmine and then let's get Hope's reaction because we've got some of that. Then we come before 4. Let's see here. Really need to see what the team leader's doing. If for a moment you thought there was going to be a triumphant celebration,
I think Jasmine looks at everybody and goes, I think we know what we need to do now. They're 5, and then she looks at Katsu, maybe 6, and we may be kids as far as the world is concerned, but we're going to stop after that.
Boom, boom, boom.
Hope, and then 404.
Pietro, you are not your father. You can't be your father. You mustn't be your father. For things to work out, please. Please come back to us.
Does this sound like
It's a-
you're emotionally supporting?
oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to have a role here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead and have that roll.
You have a big role to play that you won't be able to do if you don't realize how much good you can do. Oof. Missed.
Oh,
The dice are.
whoa, the
I
dice.
have no 3s and 4s on the dice today.
So I think as you are saying this, we see that 8-track device you gave Kudzu light up, whoop, and he vanishes.
I think immediately Foxling is bolting and is heading towards Reynard Tower.
404.
I think that is not what's going to happen. Foxling bolts, but then I make the opening too small. I'm like, no, look, we got to talk.
No, we need to go.
No,
My father's already killed one teenager and now he's taken another.
your father doesn't control Aftermath anymore. I think I can I think I can fix him. But look, I worked on this tech that Reynard used on Aftermath. It's how I was controlling him. It's why things happened. But I took some readings while we were there. I saw the shot. After everything Seismic did to get us in there, to keep us going, to make things work, I had spare time. Seismic was on the ball. And I took some readings. He's not right. But Reynard's not driving. I can fix him, but I need stuff from those labs. And if you bust in there, I'm not going to get it.
My father still has kudzu. he's taken him, and I don't know why.
Well, he's probably going to try and use the machine again because that's science, right?
Yeah.
You
Not if I-
repeat.
Not if I have anything to say about it, says Hope, and she vanishes.
Yeah, I think. Can I
No.
go with you when you vanish or no?
Yeah, come on. I mean,
Yeah, I think as you go through this portal, like in a second, Foxling just grabs your hand and goes with you.
As they're stepping into the portal, do I have a second to just put my hand on Foxling and say, he doesn't have control of him anymore? Did you know about this?
Oh, and then I'm gone.
Yes! Yes! I was so hoping that would happen.
I think that's where we have to stop.
Yeah.
I was so I was hitting a move also.
Oh, yeah,
where-
yeah. You've got a move for this. Right, right.
Well, was doing mission debrief and downplaying my role during the mission by playing up that I wasn't doing that much. So I'm going to shift my superior down to a mere 0. But I get potential out of it.
What did you? So you shift. What did you shift up?
I haven't decided yet.
Oh, okay.
Feeling pretty freaky. Let's call that freak.
Interesting. I like that. That's good. So we got the split team. So we're going to start out next time. Let's do our end of session check-in for towards team, away from team, all of those things. Everybody, don't forget, you're also going to get 1 free potential for the game. So I think for some of you that'll possibly get you a new move. Let's start with our split off people and ask this question. Hope, did you grow closer to the team? Did you grow into your image of yourself, or did you grow away?
I grew closer. Even though I took a lot of individual actions, I was doing it to make up to the team. So I feel like I'm actually contributing now.
So who is the person who actually give you backup on that?
Rorian.
Okay. Then give influence over you to them. Foxling, do you already have influence over Hope?
Checking that right now.
I think so.
I do, yes.
So shift labels.
All right. I am going to shift your superior down 1 and your savior up 1.
And Hope, did you clear a condition or mark potential?
And I cleared a condition.
Okay. Then Foxling, closer into who you think you are going to be or away from the team?
Oh, that's so hard after that last moment.
Yes.
I'm gonna say closer into who he wants to be, I think.
Okay. So what labels do you want to shift?
I'm gonna shift mundane down 1. And I'm gonna shift savior up 1.
Nice. Smart. That echoes what you just did. 404.
Oh, also,
Oh.
I took a potential and I gained a new move.
All right.
Yep.
We'll check in on new moves next time. So don't have to take them now, but we'll definitely do the start of session check-in. 404.
Hi there.
Closer into who you think you are or away from the team?
I'm gonna say more into who I think I am.
Interesting. I like that. And what label shift do you want to do?
Well, I did do a whole lot of fancy tech stuff, so I'm going to
Yeah.
actually knock my superior back up 1. But I'm feeling like I'm not good for saving anyone, so I'm going to knock that savior down to a 0.
Nice. Good. That feels like that plays that out.
I will also, I forgot, as the brain, my shame is aftermath. So the second aftermath shows up, I have to either shift stats or take a condition.
Ooh.
So I'm just going to go ahead and say I feel guilty right now.
That's perfect. That is perfect. We also missed some start of session moves. Next time we'll also make sure we get those. So we'll check in on those things. Jasmine Knight.
Yeah, I think after
This was
last
good
session,
and then bad and then good and then
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, I think just ignoring that thing that happened just at the end, this 100% grew closer to the team,
Okay.
and I think that's what I'm sticking with. So I'm going
Who?
to say, who is it? I have some options, but I think the most obvious one is 404 for going with the plan, because I think this wouldn't have happened for that one conversation. I think that's the linchpin of this whole thing. So I think you already have influence over me, so I think I shift your labels.
They hit 404 shifts your labels.
Okay, yeah.
What do you want to shift there?
Let's have a look here. Just purely because 404 was kind of being a jerk about it, we're going to lower your superior to a -1. But flip side, let's go ahead and say that we'll knock your danger back up to a 0.
Nice. And then are you clearing condition or marking potential, Jasmine?
Marking potential.
Okay. I think almost everybody's going to have a new move next time. Seismic. Wow. What a back and forth. In, out, towards who you think you are, closer, further away.
I mean, I could really pick all of these.
I
but
know.
I'm gonna pick closer because of the way, for 2 reasons. One, the way that Jasmine Knight stood up for me in front of the media, and then another one is Seismic is so used to growing closer to people by doing tasks together that just the fact that he was included in the team in the heist brings him closer together to everybody.
Absolutely. So who are you giving influence over to? Is that Jasmine?
It makes sense that it's Jasmine, yeah.
Okay. Jasmine, do you already have influence over Seismic?
Yeah.
Then let's do that label shifting.
Savior up, maybe?
Savior up, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, savior up.
And what down?
I know I only pushed you mundane up, so, but it's weird, but I'm going to so I'm going to leave it there, even though it doesn't, like, I'm waiting for the moment where Pietro actually comforts somebody else. Like, this is, you know, that's going to be to me, the great moment where he
Right.
succeeds with the Pietro project.
The Pietro project.
So I think I'm going to lower superior down. Yeah.
Ooh, interesting. And are you going to clear a condition or mark potential, Pietro?
Mark potential.
Okay. So that is our session. We will take up in the immediate aftermath of that next time. If you don't mind, I would like to do a quick stars and wishes to check in, see what people liked, and see about specific things they want to see for next time. So let's go in that same order we just did. Let's start with Brandon.
Stars, so many stars. I loved all the emotional byplay with, especially with Pietro and with Rodan. I was very happy to get to get some of Hope's sort of mutual backstory that she knows more about than other people do out there because it really establishes her raison d'etre. I liked how, the team came together to do this caper, but really it was the interpersonal role play that made me happy, as generally it does. Wishes. Well, I mean, Hope wants to get back at Reynard for lying to her, but that's is a player character. I'd like to bring out some more of Hope's backstory, I guess. She was essentially, created to be part of a government team to put down rebellious supers. And that is still something that is yet to kind of resolve out. And I'd like more of that to come into strong relief, perhaps by someone who knows what's going to happen or suspects it's going to happen because of their involvement.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the moment that you realize that Mercy is the prototype for you.
Mm-hmm.
Is Mercy the prototype?
So
Mercy's the prototype.
Hey,
Yeah.
Stars wishes.
Wow. Stars. I will never get over the fucking bullshit teenage masculine stuff that Pietro and like Rodan just have back and forth. Like, especially compared to where we thought they were gonna go, but how they've been playing at, especially with that final line, I think is very interesting. I love this sort of there's like this weird also like soft yet sort of scary thing with like Hope and Rodan. That's like there's this potential there for something. I'm not sure what it is. That's just very evocative and open and could be very volatile, or we'll see. And I love 404. I think 404 is just dandy, like all the little like lines and things like that. And then I love Malika's steady control. Like she just has this, like she's good, especially that scene with her parents. It was really interesting to see that sort of and bravo to you also, Lowell, that just perspective shift with all these moments there with these different parents and their dreams, their positions, and how they view their kids. Also, bravo, Lowell, for taking that step and being like, yeah, she's fucking dead. That's not something I think I see in a lot of mass games, and I like that raised stake. I tend to also enjoy darker games, so bravo to you for being like, yeah, we're gonna go there. Also, bravo to your delightful Rex. For my wishes, I think I'd like to see. I want to see more Rex Reynard. That's just like my thing. You've also intrigued me with this Mercy is the prototype thing, so I'm curious about how that fluctuates in that whole sort of relationship sector vector of like what Rodan is versus what Mercy is versus what Hope is. And I also, my own little selfish tidbit, with the introduction of the portrait, I would love to know more of information about Rodan's, where you believe from Rodan's creation and what went into that, who's in that portrait, that things like that. I know we've established that, like, as far as Rodan aware, is that woman isn't real. And he has no quote unquote mom. But yeah, I'm curious to see your spin or take on that. Also, I'm curious. So granted, now we know that Aftermath is not in his control, but did that come before or after the murder? We do not know.
That's a good question.
Who is to blame?
Interesting.
Oh.
Let's come to Jason.
So I think Kay just hit on one thing. Like, I really value the mystery that is unfolding in terms of stars. Everybody does super great stuff. Hope's constant martyrdom is beautiful and painful. So yeah, there's a lot of really great things going on with that, but I think the unfolding mystery is probably my most favorite part of it. In terms of wishes, I could stand to see some positive emotional play, because it has been overwhelmingly negative.
Yeah.
And comfort and support only in response to that starts to feel real codependent, and I'm not 100 comfortable with that. So I could stand to see just some goodness in this world.
Absolutely. I think it's a
Ebenezer
really good
Scrooge
point.
said. Yeah. I used my advance to buy a sanctuary. So mine is we brought up the fact that I have a lab anyway. So now it is a lab that people can shrink down to be inside of. However, I have taken all the good art, music, and food, because I'm going to put that in there, because creature comforts are something everybody likes.
Yes.
They care more about it than 404 does, but he cares about them.
Excellent. Thomas.
Yeah, biggest star for that opening scene between Lowell and Kay, Reynard. There were so many good lines in just that scene alone. So many great moments. Possibly my favorite scene, and it came the first part. So like, yeah, star for Lowell, star for Kay, so good. I mean, even the scene with Hope and Mercy, I was like, wow, this is twisting hard. And then we got a couple more twists at the end, which was great. I really loved all of that. Wishes, I have a concrete wish now, which is that I want Jasmine Knight to go up against Aftermath. Like I want that scene where she has to try to fight this guy. Yeah.
I like that.
You have punched someone you shouldn't on your eyes.
You should not punch him.
Yeah. Do we hit any of your drives today?
No, I don't think so.
Or
Oh,
she should
okay.
not punch him.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. We'll have to remember to do that. But yes, we'll work towards those things. Cisco.
Okay. Star to Thomas for going to bat with 404 for Seismic. That was awesome. And I love the dynamic of your at-home life, of the proverbial, like, when will you grow up and start prepping for med school? So star to Lowell and Thomas for that dynamic. Brandon for leaning into the PC, NPC, PC triangle with Mercy and Foxling. And the line of like, no, Mercy gave me this thing, so it's gonna work. That was really
That was a great line. That was a great line.
That was a great line. Jason, for your line, and just playing into that trope of like, you're gonna come back and you're gonna tell me I'm right, and then the immediate "I told you so." That was awesome. And mad out of character start to you, because it was super creative of you to hack into the sensors to figure out how to unscramble Aftermath. That was so cool.
Yeah.
K for the couch scene and for the passive aggressive non-smoothie buying. Loved that. And for reading my mind and avoiding that last question and leaving with hope. I was so hoping that was going to happen. Loved that. And Lowell, for your back-to-back individual scenes and just spinning all those plates and putting on all those NPC hats. That was really neat. The name Copernicus Dark is awesome. And I love the way you ran the heist. I think that is something that I'm going to take into my GMing, is running it as a montage the way you did. So that was masterful. And you like really have this strong Lionel Luthor vibe. I don't know if anybody's ever told you that. It's not a bad thing, but I heard, smelt, felt Lionel Luthor when you had that scene with Kay. So that was awesome. My wish is that we start next session with the After Time Passes move.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know that it made sense in this session so much, but for next
Yeah,
session,
definitely hit that. Make sure we get hopes, start a session, move,
Mhm.
check in on any of that other stuff, so we get those in play.
definitely. My wish, and I don't know if this is gonna happen, but I do want Pietro to have a scene with Foxling where they reconcile, and they both say sorry, and they hug it out. And that will be like a cool character development thing. And another wish, Kay had pitched a villain that was Harley Quinn-esque that messed with Chance. It was something
Oh
we were
yeah,
brainstorming.
someone who was they're not on the list, but when I was going back and forth about we were looking for ideas for who Seismic had, I had suggested a a Jinx-esque character.
Jinx-esque. So my wish is now that Leviathan is dead, that we do introduce a Jinx-esque character, who is a villain, who Pietro has like entanglements with, and that he's gonna go and find release with her to like cure his hopeless condition. So
Okay.
Yeah.
That works. I'm gonna write that down, but remind me about that next time too. Thank you all so much. I appreciate that. I am going to stop the recording. Stopping that.